I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? So we take a swerve. Yep, this is the fake out. We were starting Murs for president.
This is Elisa Guzman, KCAL9, reporting live on the first day of the Murs campaign for presidency.
You thought that was what was happening, and it's not. It's not. What's happening is, sweet Lord.
Yeah. What up, though? Smurfs. Ninth Wonder. Sweet Lord. Mi amigos, my people. Welcome y'all to the hip-hop pizza party. The largest ice cream.
Murs and Ninth Wonder, the third project. Because we wanted to keep in practice. We didn't want to fuck up. He was definitely getting money, more notoriety than before. I was definitely getting more notoriety. We had done, I think by now it was the first paid dues had happened. I got upstream to Warner Brothers. I was working on the album, but, it wasn't coming out anytime soon. So in the meantime, I can't sit still. I got to stay busy. And I may have carved this out of the deal with Warner Brothers. I'm not sure. But they allowed me to do it. Ninth, I think, wasn't working with Little Brother anymore. It's hard for me to stay neutral because I only know one side of the story. To be fully transparent, I didn't hear Fonte's side of the story until he called me a couple years ago. And we realized, we never even, so I was out of the loop, so to speak. I'm working with my brother, and for me, it's kind of a rock and a hard place, but not really, because I know Pooh and I know Tay, but I know Ninth. And this is what Sweet Lord was like. My mom, my kids, my wife, my dad, my brother, my nephews, they all asking when you're coming back, Murray. So it was more like, we're going to do this album, but I want to come to North Carolina and see my family. His family is my family. So there was not even, to be fair to all parties involved, there wasn't even space for me to entertain. And you couple that with my LA gang loyalty mentality, there wasn't even space for me to entertain a side. Of course I'm on Pat's side. Of course I'm on Ninth's side. But not with any ill will towards the other side. It wasn't even a side to me. It's just, I only know one side of the story. And, to be quite honest, I'm at this point, looking for a wife, recording my major label album, beefing with anyone is far beyond my thoughts. And that's the thing too, is, I think a lot of rappers feel differently, but I'm me. When I say I come from the streets, I never was in a gang, but I was around so much real shit, so to speak. My father was really in the streets. You know what I'm saying? All I hear is stories, and from him and from other people. But the reason he couldn't be a dad was because of street life. That's just from off rip. Aside from being scared to death of being shot, having been jumped, all this shit, and having homies killed, just that alone. I never understood why I would bring that type of aggression. Early on, I was like, there's a lot of people who say in this thing that's happening now, it's hard not to talk about it, that competition is the cornerstone of it, and it's not. Competition is just a way of men to have conflict without dire circumstances. That's what, to me, basketball, sports, all of it, there's a natural aggression, and that's why there has been war, in my mind, since the beginning of time. It's just natural, whatever it is. You could call it lower vibration or higher vibration. Once you have civilization and we don't need a tribe to survive and there's enough of us, there has to be another problem. When we're us against nature, we're pretty unified. Maybe not now, depending on who you ask, because we have impending planetary collapse and we're worried about all kind of other shit. But whatever the clock Greta and Homegirl be talking about is ticking the fuck off. Plastics, landfills, shit like that. You would think. So maybe that theory's wrong too. But I feel like once you get out of that, you have this conflict. Once I realized I battle rap because I like to fight and because I want to fight, but I really don't want to fight. I'm evolving. It was hard for me to come to peace with myself. Like, oh shit, like I don't really want to fight. It's in me because I've been hit a lot my whole life, and I've been around people hitting each other my whole life. So maybe that's a coping mechanism, a way I deal with my trauma that my wife, even when we first started dating, I see fight scenes in movies, I start laughing. I get giddy. I get excited. Because I know once I cross that threshold, I am in my element. I am most comfortable with violence, especially when it's not resulting in jail. If we could agree not to press charges or pull out any weapons, that's how I used to feel. But there's no rules. Once, especially growing up in LA, that's what put up that fence. So I don't want conflict. So me searching for a conflict once I have a multi-million-dollar or $1 million rap deal, it just never clicked with me. Like, why are we bringing this here? And having Sean Daly take me on the road, and Mr. Dibbs, and they're introducing me to Queens of the Stone Age and the Strokes, and Fugazi, whatever the fuck, Minor Threat, like all these things that I'm becoming aware of, Pennywise, Taking Back Sunday, Thrice, like these bands, this music, these people aren't making music about hurting each other or hurting, for the most part, hurting women. Now, some of these people are doing coke and whatever backstage and being misogynists and players or whatever you want to call it. But the music, front facing, it's about love and strife and humanity and emotion and making beautiful sounds with your instruments. I couldn't bring the streets with me. And I never, even during this era, I'm still, when I'm home, I'm checking in on Cloverdale. I'm checking in at my mom's house. I'm walking around Midtown. Even when during this time I moved to the Palazzo, it's a fancy place, but it's walking distance from my neighborhood. I didn't feel right living in the Valley. I'm not a Calabasas dude. I live in Inglewood now. Like, I need to be in the hood, and not in the hood where it's this sensational thing where we're with the straps and with the trapping. And no, I just need to be around black and brown people. I don't know. It's just where I feel comfortable. So I don't need to talk about it in my music. Like, if you're a plumber and you got homies from whatever gang, you don't go to people's house and talk about it. You go and fix the plumbing. I am an artist. I'm a musician. It has nothing to do with the street. The street culture is not hip hop culture. Bottom fucking line. We have an opportunity to grow, build, and make lots of money and change lots of lives and possibly shift the consciousness of the world. And we're talking about what? That's how I started feeling once I got to go on Warped Tour. Oh, and also just getting, like, shout out once again to John Liu from Amoeba. Him being like, yo, listen to Curtis Mayfield. Listen to the Impressions. Listen to James Brown. Like, listen. Not just what your mama used to play. Go deep cuts. Read the Miles Davis autobiography. And I'm like, yo, these people went through so much just to be able to get on stage. And this is what we're doing with it? Miles Davis got shot. He had a pistol. He was a hood dude, for a street dude. He was doing illegal drugs. He was coked out. That's not what I pick up on when I hear Bitches Brew or Kinda Blue or Sketches in Spain or all, like, I bought his whole catalog. And that's what I was doing with my rap money. I remember at this point I have a personal accountant, a CPA, who still helps me out to this day. God bless Debbie. And I'm like, I need to start being better with my money. She's like, what do? You go to the movies, the comic book store, and you go to Best Buy. She was also CPA and worked at a firm that represented porn stars, major actors. I won't name any name, but Hollywood. It was a Hollywood firm, other artists. And she's like, you should see the charges that come across my desk. You're good, boy. Like, not boy, but she like kind of like big sistered me. Like, you're good, bro. Like, you just clean up your credit. You don't have bad spending habits by far. That's all I wanted to do was buy more music, to learn to make more music, to make better music. So as I'm making music for this Warner Brothers album, I still want to visit my family and make music with my friend. I was at a girl I was dating's pool party. I still remember where I was standing. Or it wasn't a pool party. I was watching her nephew or something swim. And phone rang. It was Ninth. He's like, yo, they asking for you. You coming down? I'm like, yeah. What we gonna do? And he always asks me, like, what we gonna name it? And I don't know. I don't know how he came for it. I said something that he's like, Sweet Lord. I was like, that's it, Sweet Lord. And we wanted to do another clean record. Still trying to put positivity into the mix. We didn't have a label. You know, none of us needed the money. We just wanted to do it. This is a pure record. And at this point, it probably got formulaic. And I listened to some of these songs and I'm like, could have, maybe gone away from the 10 songs, but we just wanted to. I know a lot of hip hop fans, and it's limiting to Nas, but no disrespect to him. I respect the growth. But a lot of fans, we were those fans, I think, that wanted Nas to be like Primo and Guru. Like, just keep making better versions of the same. Just keep making music together. Like, give us another Illmatic. Call Q-Tip, Large Professor, Pete Rock, Elias, and do it again, bro. Primo, just do it again. And I think that's what we're doing. I'm learning that about parenthood and marriage and all these other things too now. Doing what you would want someone else to do. You wanted people you looked up to do, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do for your fan base or for your family, but it's healing for you, so it feels good. It's a kind of self-gratifying behavior. So we're like, cool, we're going to stick to the script. I'm not going to sign a word. Also, too, I always want to I started paid dues. Like, I want it to be known that I'm not selling out. I'm not buying in. I'm not selling out. I'm leveling up. I was always of the philosophy, too, of if I stay underground, that doesn't create more. Like, I'm literally telling certain rappers, I won't name names on the podcast, but like, bro, I am going to sign this deal. That means you can step up and sign a Def Jux or sign a Ruckus or wherever this next label Rhyme Sayers. You can take my space. Please let me help you. I'm going to try to get on the radio. I'm going to try with a positive message and with my own style. That's why I grew my hair the way. I'm going to stand out. I'm going to be different. I'm going to be me. I'm going to take this avant-garde, left of center blackness and put it into the mainstream. You continue to come behind me, and this is how we do it. One of the guys that I met during this time was a millionaire. He was like, he just spoke real with me. He's not black. He was just like, I don't understand basically you people. He's like, no disrespect, but he said, I helped you get signed because I want to see you do better than me. If you can't do better than me, then I'm a loser. And when I started meeting all these younger rappers, Absol, whoever, I'm like, yo, if you don't do better than me, Soul used to be on the bus when I took him on tour with me and be like, look, I got this many followers. Like, that's how you measure your growth. He's like, man, I'm coming up. He's like, why? One day I'm going to have more. I'm like, bro, you're going to have way more followers than me. I'm just like, when you blow up, take me on tour with you. Trust me.
Gotta do better. I 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 gotta do better. Gotta do better today. Gotta do better before it's too late.
Said I gotta do better. I gotta do better. I gotta pick up the pieces and master the puzzle upon us. Look the man in the mirror in the eye and be honest. Slow down time. Get back in line with my chakras.
I watched a lot of people in my crowd. Some of them saw what I saw in Soul and other artists, but I watched a lot of them front. Even, certain people I brought on the tour were like, oh man, you had me on tour with one of the greatest rappers ever. And I wasn't even that cool to him. I'm like, yeah, like, be nice to whoever, but if you can't help someone do better than you, what's the point? So that was my focus was I create paid dues. I am telling the young people, like, come after me, take my spot, because we have to keep this positivity, this real art movement to me going. And I'm going to keep doing records with Ninth Wonder. So my fan base knows, and the people who have supported me, I'm here because of your support. Warner Brothers only sees the numbers, and we built that together. So I want to let y'all know, like, you'll always get a Murs and Ninth Wonder album. We'll figure out how to get it to you, but we're going to do it. And that is Sweet Lord.
Yeah. What up, though? Smurfs, Ninth Wonder,
Starts with the intro. The coverage is different. There's a cover. It's not even streaming anywhere. You gotta go to YouTube. Like, all the rights to this shit is all fucked up. And me and Knife really have never, I won't say solidified, like we don't have any paperwork between us. So there's no paperwork for this album. And just like full transparency, there's no paperwork for any of the Felt albums. These are just people, and I have no complaints. There's a 2-page contract for my Def Jux albums. It trips me out when artists are like, oh, I got my publishing. What's your PRO? No, I don't know none of that shit, bro. I just been making it happen. Like, it's all Babylon to me. Like, just to be Rasta and ignorant. I'm like, man, I'm really basic level. Work hard, get your money. If you can't get what you owe, go get some more money somewhere else. Invest it wisely. Like, if I wanted to do, like, when I have real estate, and I understand that to a certain extent, kind of get involved with crypto, not really in stock. Like, my grandfather told me from a young age, like, that's why I tell a lot of young rappers too, like, buy some land because that's the only thing they're not making more of. That's been stressed to me since I was a child. So I always tell people, if you want to make money, go make money. The music business is not a fucking business. It is a shit show. This is mob shit. It's gangster shit going on. And I'm not talking about the motherfuckers with the tattoos and their shirts off. I'm talking about the motherfuckers in the suits and the fucking pushing this paperwork. Pushing P.
Pushing P. Pushing P. Pushing P. Yeah. Pushing P. Pushing P. Pushing P. Pushing P.
Those motherfuckers are the gangsters. And this shit is not about making artists rich at all. If you want to make money and make a living, if you want to get rich, do it somewhere else. If you want to make a living, it's possible. And when you do make more than you need to live, invest it into something that is stable, that you understand. Maybe your family does understand stocks and bonds and all this IRAs. And shout out to, once again, my homeboy Dre. He understands all that shit. Last true gentleman. If he allows you to follow him, his financial advice is, as far as I know, seems pretty sound. And it's worked for him. Do that with your rap money. Don't start a label and think that you're going to get rich. Don't come into this motherfucker trying to make anything than a name for yourself and maybe a living if you're lucky. And if you make more, then you'll be happy. But take the money and take it out of this business, because this is it's not a business. So the covers are different covers. One cover is one we put out. Eventually came out with Hurley. I think that was the first place on MySpace. It's one of the early mixtapes in the mixtape game. I always say I'll maintain I'm very ignorant to that era, the blog era and all that. But we threw that out there through that vein. It was kind of just getting started, like Charles Hamilton kind of like era.
Charles Hamilton, by the way.
DJ Ski.
Rap is real talk, camouflage the facade. Hip hop is just odd, honest to God. I rock when I jot. Heavy metal blast when I drop these heavy metal raps. Never fed with rap, make your head to that. This is called Death of the Mixtape Rapper. Be original.
I believe this came out in 07, maybe 08, right before. I think spring 08, right before, because Murs for President dropped fall 08. Kind of the model where they started doing mixtapes to help launch, acting like someone was independent and releasing a mixtape. And then I'm definitely on Warner Brothers, but they're allowing me to release free music to help get my fan base excited about my new record. That was basically it. So I had to deal with Hurley. I was on salary with Hurley, so we released it through the Hurley site to give them some content for the stipends they were giving me monthly. That cover has just random live footage of us, a live photos of us live. Then the official cover we made and pressed on CD, if the first CDs, if you have them, because there are more CDs made later, had Ninth and his nice father, God bless him, he just passed away, and his mother on the cover, my mother and father on the back cover, and then pictures of me from Pop Warner and him when we were little on the inside. Just family. That's the core of what we do. This album was recorded in his house, the house that I saw this man go from apartment, bought the house. I was with him when he picked up his, around this time, I think when we did Sweet Lord, he picked up his first royalty check from the Black album, just from, we recorded this in 07. No, I think maybe Thanksgiving 07 or 06. I think it was Thanksgiving 07. And he went to pick it up and we went and bought a car. I don't know if it's with that money, but that, and so for reference, that's how long it takes to get a check, his first check. So these are moments I'm sharing. This once again why it goes deeper than music with us. Like I'm getting off the plane when he plays Threat for people the first time.
Yeah, I done told you niggas 9, 10 times stop fucking with me. I done told you niggas 9 albums stop fucking with me. I done told you niggas 9 on me stop fucking with me. You niggas must got 9 lives. Ninth wonder.
And now I'm picking up. We hit the mailbox to pick up the royalty check from, and he's done Destiny's Child, Mary J. Blige, I believe also at this point too.
I seen it all, and now it's time for me to pass on this knowledge to you, all my sisters, my troubled sisters. This is my gift to you. Been many days, couldn't take the pain that I should take my life away.
And a part of his healing, I think that I wasn't as close with my brothers and living legends at the time. And he was recently not with little brother anymore, but this was a relationship that we had, that we could focus on, that we could nurture, and was grounded in family. So I think we both had that comfort going on at this time. Needed that. So I'm at the pool. We say, "Sweet Lord, I'll see you in November." I booked the tickets, and we recorded upstairs. Some nights I would stay in the house. His youngest daughter, J. Def, we were babysitting. I guess my kids say I'm the best babysitter. Some people get like, "You're not babysitting if they're your children." I'm sitting with a fucking baby. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I'm babysitting. Fuck it. It's not called dadding. I don't know what to say. I'm watching the baby. Babysitting, watching the baby, whatever. We were basically babysitting J. Def while recording this record. And we'll get to that. You can hear us talking to her. But this is why we're family, because on The Iliad is Dead and the Odyssey is Over, same table that she's throwing Cheerios around and we're yelling at her, not yelling at her, but like laughing at her about on this record, is she's playing me her beats. And I say that one, we're going to rap with Rhapsody and Ruben on this one.
Two of the best MCs standing, Cole Brandon.
These all-star checks I'm spending, I'm ditty dancing.
Without the shiny suit stole, your new favorite duo.
Had a Gucci on the floor, I left the Versace for Bruno.
And who knows, the next time you'll see niggas connect rhymes.
You'll have to birth the second coming like knife on the baseline.
Turn and shoot, no seconds left, don't have to look, you know it's wet.
When I'm on my LA shit like Bronny beating on his chest.
Mamba shit, all kind of shit, my bars be like Obama lit. I rhyme with no cognizance, the flow will stream of consciousness from continent to continent, combining vowels with consonants. We crushing competition that be claiming they could conquer this.
I got to pick a beat. We in the same house, in the same kitchen, where I was writing this album years later. This is our family. This is why we're family. It's cliche, but it's deeper than rap. I can see both images of her. Her playing me beats on her native instruments, banging out the pads, looking like her dad, wild shit. And her at 2 years old, and we're saying, "Jada, you better not, don't." Cause she ran downstairs and she put all she poured all the cereal out on the table. And then we caught her, we're like, "Hey, stop, don't, you better, girl, no." And then she just like a mix match, like a crazy DJ, just starts spreading Honey Nut Cheerios all over the floor in the kitchen. Just swiping them off the table. Crazy. Tasmanian devil style. And we started rolling. We're laughing our ass off.
We've been recording with these kids in the house every day, man. They so beautiful. They so damn bad. Terrence spilling Cheerios all over the floor.
That same little girl at the same table played me one of the most streamed songs from The Iliad is Dead, the Odyssey is over. Yeah. Crazy. The intro is always just us talking shit. Praise his name. We're both definitely grounded in faith. 2 kids in the game. Sweeter than sugar cane, rough as a bullet stain. Yeah. But this is just like fun. We're loose. We always do the first song last. I think we had to hurry up and get it done because we're driving to the airport. I don't even write it until I always write the last line.
This is the last song on the album that we actually recorded. I'm on my way to the airport. My little brother finally graduating after 7.5 years, but I don't give a... I'm so proud, man. I can't even begin to attempt to pretend like I could explain to you the joy that I'm feeling of getting on this plane.
So it's been a pleasure thus far. It's Murs and Ninth Wonder, and the third time's a charm. Once we hung up the phone and said the name of the album was Sweet Lord, I came up with that line. Other than that, I don't write it.
Praise his name, 2 kids in the game. Came back a 3rd time to serve y'all gain. And it's sweeter than sugar cane. Rough as a bullet stain. Good music and balances what we bring to the game. So amen, let the fun begin. And before it all ends, you say we done it again. It's me and him, we come with that blend. That Cali line of sound make you run to a friend like, say brother, you heard that Murs and Knife? The beats just bang and the verse is so tight. Ain't nothing like that being said on the mic. No drugs, no guns, cause we just not the type. We get you ready for life, we get you ready for love. Cause it's all about moving, never holding a grudge. Forgive and forget, can't live with regret. Hoping God make a way before we run out of breath. Hit with all I got left, I'ma make it alright. Just spit that positive music and continue to fight. Bring the truth to the light, then the light to the dark. Until you sucker MCs meet us out in the park. We got the after school special that is guaranteed to test you with morals to the story, so you know we gonna bless you. You, and your girlfriend. Cause if this ain't a gym, then the world don't spin. And if the world don't turn, then the sun don't burn. And the grass don't grow, and the kids don't learn. So get smart, we got 99 songs, but if we put them all on, I'll be rhyming too long. I hear you talking, I hear you fools. Cause we left Cool Edit and switched to Pro Tools. Knife chopping breaks, me breaking rules. So dang fresh, people say that it's cool. They say it's too short, they don't want it to end. But it wouldn't be perfect if it wasn't a 10. And friends, it's been a pleasure thus far. Murs and Ninth Wonder, and the third one's a charm.
Switching from Cool Edit to Pro Tools, just trying to keep that theme because we said Fruity Loops, and that resonated with people. There's a part where it goes, say, brother, you heard that Murs and Ninth?
Say, brother, you heard that Murs and Ninth?
That was from my little brother. He's just always been influential in my music, from What Up Though to, just, especially with this, like, lower your mouth, keep your hand on cell phone, we're back, shut your fat mouth. Like, all these things came from him. So I always try to definitely involve him in some slang he's saying in the intro.
Shut your fat mouth and listen.
He was graduating. My grandfather is one of 13 from bumfuck, 13 kids from bumfuck, Florida. Came to LA with like barely any money in his pocket. Made a lot of money for himself. Never went to college. Basically had to stop going to school in about 3rd grade to plow the fields because he was the oldest boy of 13 kids. His father had 3 daughters in a row, finally had a son, so he had somebody to work the field. My family had a lot of land, so people in the region worked for. So my grandfather ended up being a foreman for, he's telling me now, kids who are older than him. So no, he didn't really have any friends because he had to be bossy to everybody because his dad was out doing other business and he left him in charge of getting the fields plowed and planted and all that. So he's never had an education. So of course he wants his kids to have an education. He came to LA, met a beautiful woman from Chicago, had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. None of them went to school. The pressure was on the oldest grandchild, which is me, to go to school. And I couldn't give a fuck less. Hip hop had me hook, line, and sinker. I was not going to college. And if I could find the video, we'll play a little bit of my grandfather retelling the story.
Renee?
Yes, sir.
That's what I do for a living.
I was just thinking. I told him I didn't want him to go in this, so he was in college. Next thing I heard, he was out of the country doing this. So when he came back, I sat down and I told him, I said, now, I want you to get your education. Forget about this stuff. Go to school. So he looked at me and he said, if you want to waste your money, I'll go to class every day, but I will not open a book. Yeah. I said, in that case, you better stay in. So he stayed in the right place.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think I stay in the right place.
I wished I had the voice to do that.
We had some moments. And then my grandfather was out there like I was going to the Good Life every Thursday. Moms would drop me off or I'd take the bus. My mom was out of town. He dropped me off. My mom said this is what he does on Thursday nights. Let him do his thing. He picked me up and he's like, look, I won't go too deep, but basically you ain't going back there. You just, I don't want you mixed up with that crowd. I'm like, what are you talking about? We had a health food store, bro. Like, you know? And he smacked the shit out of me. Like, if you have a hard work, like my grandfather lays linoleum, bricks, all kind of shit. So his mitts, his hands, and he has one of the old dudes he has one ring on his hand. It's his wedding ring. It has one diamond, and it's been in there since, I don't know when he got married, 1950. Like, same ring from 1950. So it's very real gold. And it's that hand, left hand, I don't know, right-handed. No, left hand. Maybe, yeah, no, it's right because he's driving. Backhanded me. So I didn't get the ring. Maybe he does have pink ring. I don't know. I remember ring busting my mouth wide open. It was like, what did you say? Are you going back there? I said, yeah, man. For me, at that point, I was 15. Like, I had been threatened. Motherfuckers had put guns to my head. And then what I credit gang culture and my family was like, whatever. It is what it is, bro. You're going to have to kill me or I'm going to keep doing what I got to do. I applied it to me to the right things. I wasn't about to die for a color, but this hip hop shit, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're not about to stop me. I love my grandfather. I love my mother, but no one was going to stop me from doing this. So that pressure transferred to my little brother. And he was not focused on hip hop. He was focused on just being with his homies. And this is, to me, my brother's an intelligent, loving, good kid, but when you have a talented, loving, good kid that just wants to be a regular boy and hang with his boys, but you're in LA, it's going to be some gang shit and you're black. There's just no way around it. He wasn't looking to be involved in that type of shit, but that's just what was out there. We've talked about on this podcast. So and hip hop is what elevated me above it a little bit. He didn't have hip hop and he wasn't into sports. But my brother is a huge individual. Huge. Same father, same mother, 6'3" at this time, around this time, 350 pounds. He's been big. Once he got to 11 years old, his shoe size would continue to grow with his age. Just a huge individual. And we were brothers, so we fought, and that's where some of my disconnect with being frightened of people that are larger than me comes, because I've been fighting somebody larger than me basically my whole life. We shared a room all most of our life. So, my brother been throwing me across rooms in the walls, choking me out. We've been thumping for a long time. So it takes a little more than size to put some fright into me. So this big dude was also, to me, a huge target. So when he graduated, I drove him to Prairie View A&M. Then his whole goal was to get back home. And I don't remember the circumstances, but I believe he was expelled for some non-scholastic activities. So he thought he was going to get the flunk out and come home. We said, no, sir. We sent him further south to a community college where he finally got it together. I think after 4 years of a JC, and then he went to the University of Florida, where he still didn't refuse to play football, but definitely, because he was so big and he was black, he would just accept meals. People were like, oh, good game. He'd be like, yeah. And they would like comp his meal at IHOP, and he went for that. But also like the kind of like, gangster shit, like just like went into the weight room, and then like for a while he held the bench press record. I think legend has it, or his stories say, but I've seen him, bench 500 pounds. Like when I was living at the Palazzo, it had like a private gym, and it's like Dave Navarro, Vita Guerra, like all these celebrities are in there. Was Shamar Moore, and my brother would just come and put all the weights on him. I would come in there with the homies, and I was, because they could come in, because I could have a couple guests. I could have 2 guests with me, 3 guests. So I would just bring all the homies. I bring my little brother. So we definitely it's not leg day ever in the hood. And we've had a weight bench at my house since my brother's been bench pressing since the 3rd grade. So just just go in the gym, and they just wouldn't even have enough 45 plates. And then he would leave, and we would go do I was doing legs and treadmill and shit like that. So the Say brother, like, he would just go places and like come up in your ear, say brother, and grab you by your tricep, like, but his whole hand, and just like he calls it snatch. He would just snatch my friends up. Like every rapper, LP knows my brother. Like all my rap friends know him, Big Nate, and he'd snatch you up. Say brother, what's up with you, man? How you been? And just like bear hug you.
Group hug, nigga. Come on, Craig. All right, come here. Come on, over here. Talk to you for a minute. What's up, dog? What's up, nigga? It's good to be home. You know what I'm saying? Because in the prison, dog, hey, ain't nothing but the fellas, nigga. I heard. That's what I heard. And I swear. Hey, we got to care about each other. Yeah, that's real. That's right. That's real. I'm feeling you. I heard you motherfuckers ain't paid your rent this month. Stuck in them Dodge with moms and shit.
Get your titty off my chin.
So that's where that comes from, because he was at the previous, during the Murs event sessions, he was with us. And so his family got to know my brother. And once you meet him, you don't forget him. Large, big personality, but lovable. I have the heart, the cold heart. He's the kind but huge one. So he's graduating, which is a big deal for my family. It's a big deal for me because, you know, a lot of me not having a father was me I moved back from the Bay to make sure my brother graduated high school safely because his big homie had got fucked up in a car accident and some more shit. And he passed away. And then he was clashing with just in the house with my mom and my stepfather. My mom had just got remarried after I moved out. She, started dating my stepfather now, who's a great guy. I always have to clear his name because when I talk about my stepfather, that's not the one I'm talking about. He married my mom when I was 20 and I was already outside. But little things like my brother, like, hey, cuz said I can't smoke Newports on the porch. I'm like, because you can't, bro. You're 15. Take that shit to the corner. Like, bro, so I had to come home and be like, you're not about to run the one good man out of my mama life. Like, you need to go have your, it was jokes at first. He's young, but I wanted to be there and make sure. And I drove him there to Prairie View, helped buy him a car down when he got to the JC, anything to keep him happy, out of trouble, and out of LA. And, some of those friends he was with are no longer with us, have done a lot of time. It was not a cliche. It's not, if it wasn't for that, I credit Atmosphere with mine. If it wasn't for Atmosphere taking me on tour, if it wasn't for me keeping my brother in some type of learning institution outside of Los Angeles, California, God only knows, man. So he's graduating. I'm leaving North Carolina to go to his graduation. But that's where the Say brother comes from, because he's the huge dude that then makes jokes like that. 10 songs. Say it's too dope, they don't want it to end. It wouldn't be perfect if it wasn't a 10. We decided, let's say it may be formulaic, but we decided to just do 10 songs.
They say it's too short, they don't want it to end, but it wouldn't be perfect if it wasn't a 10.
That's it. And at this point, we got to the point where we don't even cut one. He shows me the 10 beats. He has 10 beats ready when I show up. Sometimes he says, this is what you're going to rap about. And this is it. So we'll get into the music and all that next week. Lots going on for me personally. But both of us are doing this project out of love. There's light. There's love. There's levity. There's fun. There's no pressure. It's just because we want to. And I feel like that feeling should never leave. As it's funny because this record that I'm about to go put the finishing touches on finally, I hope the last record I'm putting out wound up being 10 songs. We had 36, maybe almost 40 songs to choose from we've done over the past 18 months, 2 years. I don't know how long I've been working on it. Yeah, man, it is 10 songs. It just ended up being that way. It was 11 for a while, but we cut another one at the beginning of these sessions. So 10 is good, man. And I like that it matches what people feel is my most classic records. I think 10, especially when you don't have a lot of features and you only have one producer, 10 is enough. You get the vibes. Illmatic's still one of the greatest records.
Yeah.
Ready to Die, maybe even better to me, and it's not 10 songs, so I don't want to argue with anyone. And Ready to Die only has one feature as well.
I squeeze gas till my clips is empty. Don't tempt me. You don't want
Man,
the
here
fuck
I
with
am,
the
I'll be
empty.
damned if this ain't some shit. Time to spread the butter lyrics over harmony grit. It's the Mood Killer Death Trap. Yes, I'm a jet black ninja. Coming where you rest at, surrender.
I know I'm a hip-hop scholar, I know the arguments, but we chose 10. These are the 10 songs from this era. I was going back and forth from LA. This is the only time I left during the recording of a record. I had never done that, but Love, I was investigating Love. Matters of the Heart took me away. And I think we'll leave it on that. It's a short episode. Sorry, y'all. Got to get to this session to finish this record. Hopefully we don't have to miss a week, but yeah, Ground Waves is starting back up. Shout out to all the Ground Waves. If you're in the Arkansas or Colorado or Oklahoma area, please check in with Ground Waves Hip Hop on IG for the specifics. But starting in May, I'll be in these regions once a month doing an open mic and mentorship program. The first day is an open mic, show up and rap. Colorado is $5. Everywhere else is free. The next day we meet one-on-one. If you sign up, before the slots are all filled up, and you can ask me anything about anything. I used to say no relationship advice, but I feel like it's just, let's sit down. People need people to talk to. It's a May Mental Health Month. I've learned doing this program for the past 6 years that sometimes people just need to be listened to, or to hear a good word, or just to get a hug, man. So I'm here for all of it in those regions starting now. So we may be missing a weekly episode every month while I travel. Love y'all. And we'll definitely get into music. But in the meantime, you could use this time. I think also I wanted this kind of to be a precursor because this album is not streaming. So go get familiar with it however you can on YouTube. Dig it up. If you have the CD, you have the record. If you have the record, let me know. Because this has been bootlegged and printed, pressed by people we don't even know, distributed, posted on YouTube, and that's all good. But yeah, go listen to the record. Get familiar with Sweet Lord. I think it's one of our best records. It's probably my third favorite record we did. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.